discussing the agencies of socialization. We have discussed the agencies by categorizing it into 3 levels: micro level socialization, meso level socialization, and macro level socialization. You have heard about the micro level socialization and the meso level socialization. Besides the family, school, and religion, when we look at the society, we can see that the society is exerting greater influence upon socialization process of adolescence. In today's discussion, we will be touching upon the macro level socialization. So for this discussion, we have with us Dr. Leda Ramohan and Dr. Deepthi. We are living in the 21st century where the world is shrinking and communication is at the click of a button. How does this impact socialization? Dr. Leda, what's your opinion?
Yeah, exactly. We live in an age of inventions and innovation. Technology has taken tremendous strides, and we are on the wings of technology. It is taking us to greater and greater heights. Now you see the boundaries have all shrunk. Communication is very easy, as you said. At a click of a button there is Google for all our answers that we look for, and the distance have been reduced. And now the catchword is of a global village and a global community where there is no barrier of caste, creed, or culture. So the socialization process is very, very, very important at this age where all these barriers have gone. So we are very easily able to reach out. Yes. And again, we talk of mass media again. Mass media is, as the word says, we are reaching out to masses. On a large scale, communication is happening, whether through print media, through words, yes, or through other media. So this for children and for growing adolescent, this mass media and this concept of global community is very, very, very important in shaping their personality also. You see, a very small children at the age of 6 and 7, they have started making YouTube, yes, where I am still tinkering with it, how to go about it. So they make their own videos and post it. So all this has become possible because of this 21st century where we talk of global community and mass media, helping us, enabling all this to happen.
Yes, sure. We can see that how the concept of space has reduced, and now we will tell about the global community. Earlier, when we think about any society or to know about any country or how their socialization process, even at the fingertip, now we can understand what is happening. And would you like to add, Dr. Deepthi, about the socialization process that children, adolescents, especially adolescents, are getting through mass media? Would you like to add something?
Yes, definitely. The mass media is influencing adolescents in a big way. Earlier on, we had print and non-print media. We were exposed to TVs, and some 30 years ago, we had only a few channels to be looking at. We used to wait for some cartoons to come in so we could, watch all of that. But today, at the click of a button, you have a channel of your choice. So right now, you can choose what to see, and sometimes you can also be directed the other way.
Yes.
So there is a lot of parental supervision and care at the younger stage, but when it comes to adolescents, then responsibility or onus is more on the adolescents to be deciding what to watch. And when they do so, they also are deciding what kind of a personality or ideas are they shaping in themselves. So, yes.
They are more eager to imitate some of the
Some
heroes and
yes,
heroines.
yeah,
That is happening. So, would you like to add how the media space is influencing the socialization of adolescents?
Yes, they are looking at people as role models for themselves is one, where they try to emulate, imitate,
Yes,
and become like them. And
heroes themselves.
as the heroes themselves, a lot of qualities of the hero is what they want to imbibe. So things like heroism, how it is defined. Does it include aggression? Does it include sensitivity?
Yes.
So those kind of things come in. And then apart from watching movies, it is also the kind of news and serials that they are watching. A lot of adolescents are keen on
Yes.
watching horror movies because that's exciting. So and a lot of them get scared. And
sure.
then you have to draw limits into how much of what, and also how to filter the good
Yes.
from not so good.
You
Becomes
mentioned
one.
news, we don't know which channel to watch and what to take in. The filtering is very, very important.
So what
Right.
both of you have stated, that is true, that not intentionally, unintentionally, while viewing these mass media programs, it is influencing the adolescents a lot.
Yes.
So socialization process is happening not through family and school, it is through mass media. Nowadays, communication using electronic media has expanded. To what extent should our children be exposed to electronic media? Dr. Deepthi, could you
Yes.
elaborate on this?
Yes, electronic media is all over the place, and nowadays we have computers, we have laptops, we can access it through mobile phones, so it is all out there. But how much of it to really see?
Yes.
Because research shows that younger children cannot be exposed to screens after a certain number of hours because it damages the eyesight. But for the youngsters, how much do they see, and from what they see, how much do they learn? How much benefits them is also another critical aspect.
Where to draw a line, this far and no further.
Right,
Yes,
right. Because a lot of research again on when we talk of use of electronic media for learning. Nowadays
Yes.
there is a lot of talk on if a child cannot access textbooks or cannot access going to school regularly, you do it online. You
Yes.
watch the screen and learn that.
Mhm.
But research in the OECD countries shows that exposure to electronic media per se does not improve learning levels. Then there is interesting research by Kentaro Toyama. He's written The Greek Heresy. There also he's talking about, this is the human intent. We want to
Yes.
do for children. We want to give them resources. But giving of resources like electronic media is not increasing, enhancing their thinking capacities. So therein he is talking about enhancing thinking capacities while using electronic
The
media.
cognitive development
Yes.
gets affected.
Okay, Dr. Lata, would you want to add some more about this?
I agree with her totally.
Yes.
Especially we are now talking about online education and learning through mobile phones and all that, especially in the time of pandemic and all. But of course, it's a great boon that we are able to connect with children
Yes.
and socialize with them, interact with them, especially a teacher to a student, a teacher and a parent. All this are made possible by these various media. However, one can never replace the face-to-face or the intense, connection or the physical face-to-face connection that happens in schools and colleges. So, as I repeatedly say, it's a great boon. Nevertheless, we should know what is good for us and what is not.
Okay. Do you think social media like Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram can influence the socialization process? Dr. Lata, what's your opinion about this?
Yeah, we are spoiled for choice, especially for the adolescents. We have the Facebook, the Instagram. We have traveled along earlier, I think, Deepti, it was only the Orkut or something. Now we have so many social media wherein they can express themselves, hiding their own identity sometimes. And they can be free, they can express whatever they want. And recently I saw that this has helped even illiterate parents, illiterate mothers in the rural area. They have become great entrepreneurs, showing their own skills of craft, cooking and all that, which was never ever possible in the olden days, is it not?
Yes.
Now they can show, they can exhibit their talent to a great extent using all the social media. However, again, it takes lot of flags, especially in the news and all. We hear how social media is negatively influencing children and taking them to wrong direction.
Okay, what you stated is correct, that sometimes there may be the positive influence as well as the negative influence. But there's a general tendency to stick on to the negative influence like that. But besides the negative influence, through social media, there are possibilities for increasing the positive influence. Would you like to share some of the experiences which become positive for these adolescents by using social media? Dr. Deepti?
Yes, sure, you're right. This has a negative, but it has a huge positive too. Especially when we look at children who are introverts. A lot of children who do not want to meet and interact with a lot of people, and I would count in extroverts too here. When they are on the social media, they are not only interacting with others who are distant from them. It is indirect communication, but they are also learning, like Dr. Lata said, a lot of new skills while going online. So some of them are good at music. They post in their music and post it to the social media and get reviews there. Some of who are good at writing are learning writing from electronic media and posting it on social media. So again, the interaction of use of resources, that expansion of your own self, your qualities, it has expanded a lot more than how it was before. So that way it has opened a world of possibilities. You are interacting with people who are far, far away from you. You are getting to know their cultures, their lifestyles, their values, and they are exposed to different kinds of learning, which is a huge positive.
Yes.
Not limited to their own locality and reaching out to other countries even.
Yes.
There is no barrier of
sitting in
country,
the room itself, they can connect to
the world outside. So throwing open large vistas, long vistas, of communication. The other day you were mentioning about one community library.
Yes, true.
Very interesting, I thought.
So there is this the community library project in Sheikh Sarai, Delhi itself. So that is for children of the lower socioeconomic strata, and adolescents run that library. So that is run by the adolescents. Nice. And what has happened is, now with the coming in of electronic media and social media, they've made us a WhatsApp group. And these adolescents run this group. It has more than 200 members currently. And every second day they are posting stories and they're reciting poems on that WhatsApp group and sending it across to be used by children. Then they also invite other adolescents to write in, post their own creations onto this WhatsApp group.
speaking of this, I must say about WhatsApp. WhatsApp has become so very popular, especially for youngsters and even teachers. Now communication is possible, and even lessons are all transmitted through this WhatsApp group. Children are writing blogs and sharing with the teachers, and even parents get to know what's happening in the classroom through this media of WhatsApp. The schools and community who never had a chance to understand what's happening within the classroom, now they are able to understand, they are able to communicate better, even I must say, thanks to this social media.
Exposure to social media, it leads to social networking. And we know that through this online platform, the social networking is increasing. And how does it influence the growing up experience of adolescents? What's your opinion, Dr. Lata?
Again, we have been speaking about this social media and its influence on adolescent. The adolescent, as you said, is the most critical stage in the life of an individual. It's one step away from childhood, and one step before adulthood. So this is a very crucial age where there are a lot of changes happening within the adolescent, be it physical, be it emotional, the psychological. So everywhere in that interaction process is also happening, and socialization with not only just family. Now there are more exposure to the peer and to the social media, the mass media, and all this have very profound influence on shaping the personality of the adolescent.
Would you like to add some more, Dr. Deepti?
Yes, sure. Social networking among adolescents of other adolescents who are similar to them is happening, but also to others who are very dissimilar to them is also happening, which is not usually the case when we are in a more direct communication at any level. So that space has expanded. So now you are interacting with a variety of people who are different from you. Again, that becomes important from the point of view of learning, because we have got certain thinking models. We think in certain ways. We can be sensitive, we can be compassionate, but we can also imagine ways in which we can logically solve problems. So there is this amalgamation and opportunities to look at how people think and do, and also learn a lot from that through social networking.
So one last word to our viewers and listeners about the concept of global village. When we tell about global village, we will tell Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. What you want to convey to our viewers and listeners, Dr. Lata?
Yeah, Dr. Elizabeth, though this Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam is it can be dated back to the Vedas and Puranas, it is much more relevant even in this 21st century. By Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, we mean a global village where there are no boundaries altogether, where the distance have shrunk, and where there is no discrimination, caste, creed or color, and where there is tolerance. And the three key words in this Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam or the global village is collaboration, cooperation, and above all compassion, which is a value which is so very, very vital for a human, especially in the context of society, but which has been depreciating. And I think all leaders and great people, they have brought this up back. Even at international forums this word has been now used, and where we talk of global network and think of one nation, one family, and one religion. So globally bringing everybody closer, and inculcating more values of tolerance, which is the need of the hour, don't you
Yes,
think?
yes. So through this video, you have understood the macro level socialization and how it helps to create a sense of oneness through this global community. Hope that you have enjoyed this session. Thank you.